In this video, I'm going to show you how to build an 8-figure net worth through land investing. If you guys are new here, my name is Sumner Healey. I run a business called landinvestor.co. We help folks start, grow, and scale 6- and 7-figure land businesses. We've got all sorts of little goodies for you down in the description below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. All right, guys, full disclosure, I don't have an 8-figure net worth, okay? But what I'm going to share with you is my roadmap, my battle plan on exactly how I'm going to get there through land investing. Now, I've been in the land business since 2019, so I still have a long ways to get here. But in that time, we've been able to build a multiple 7-figure net worth, and I feel like I've gotten a really good idea on how we can actually compress time and get here sooner rather than later. Now, I must say, money is obviously not everything. In fact, I live a pretty simple life, but it is a fun game to play where net worth or revenue, whatever it is, acts a bit of a scorecard. It's just a fun thing to play. It's a way for me to come up with a hypothesis, test it, and see if I can get there. I always tell people I'm probably more of a scientist than a business person. So here's my hypothesis. All right, step number 1 is build. You need to build a land business that can reliably spit out $1 million to $3 million a year in free cash flow. That might sound like a big, bold claim. It's actually not as crazy as you think. I would say if you're inside Leah, this will happen in 2 to 3 years. If you're a little bit slower like me, maybe 4 to 5 years. But we've had many people that have crossed this in 2 years. It took me 2 years till we had our first $1 million year, but it wasn't $1 million in profit. That happened on the 3rd year. But then again, I put absolutely everything I had into this business in terms of my mental bandwidth, resources, everything. So that's the first step, okay? A lot of people think they're going to get rich through investing. I don't believe it. I think you build cash flow through businesses and then you invest that money. Now, while the name is land investing, as I always like to say, this has nothing to do with investing, okay? We are business owners, we're entrepreneurs, we own a business where land is the widget. So don't think about this as your investment bucket. This is your free cash flow bucket. If you guys want to learn more about how we do this, go into our playlist. We got loads of videos on this. Okay, the next is our kind of passive investing bucket, okay? And this bucket is exactly what I do. Take 10K a month out of your income, out of your profit, whatever you want to do. Take 10K a month out, put it into index funds, Vanguard funds, whatever one you like. They all roughly perform the same in my opinion. And I'm certainly no stock market expert. You put 10K a month in there, you start with 10K and you keep on putting 10K a month. In 20 years, that's $6 million. That's assuming on average a 9% return. Now, I like this bucket because it's passive, right? The thing that people don't understand with investing, at least what I found, is most investment strategies are not passive. They take work. In fact, they almost mimic small businesses. Having a recurring payment go out of $10,000 a month into whatever index fund is very passive. And the thing I like about this is we don't have to be Nostradamus, right? We don't have to try to time the market. We just dollar cost average in. I've yet to see any clear evidence that a mom and pop investor can beat dollar cost averaging into the stock market, primarily index funds. All right, this is our active investing bucket. So we want to take 50% of this profit and roll it into buy and hold real estate. Now, there's a bunch of sub options here. What I really like are self-storage, RV parks, boat storage, obviously small multifamily, things like that. I think single family is a tough game to play. I'm certainly no expert there, but I want to have something that has a little more of economies of scale built into it. And I'm really bullish on self-storage. I think self-storage is so cool because you look around here in America, everyone has junk and it doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon. So people are always going to need somewhere to stuff their junk in. Now, this is active, right? This is going to take work. It's going to require having management. It's going to require your oversight, where this bucket really doesn't. But there's a couple cool things that are going to happen here. One, we can use the skill set we develop in our land business to use those marketing strategies to find these deals. The problem that most real estate investors have, traditional real estate investors, is deal flow, right? Most of them don't know how to go to direct to owner in the same way that we know how to do with land. So when you build the land business, you also build a marketing channel that you can rinse and repeat to go here. And in fact, if you wanted to, you could even overlap a lot of the resources that you have in your land business. Now, I'm not saying that's the right or wrong thing to do, but I'm saying for sure, take that skill set. So the 2 modes that we would use would be direct mail with some kind of offer price associated, or range offer, or something that allowed us to stand out. Something that says, hey, we're not sending you a neutral letter. We're not just dipping our toe into the pond. We have some kind of range. We'll pay between X and Y. What we found is motivated sellers love that, right? It removes a lot of the friction, removes a lot of the negotiating, and shows that you mean business. This is exactly what we do in the land business. The next thing is I would stack that with some kind of texting or ringless voicemail, right? Something to where we can have omnipresence. We can be showing up in direct mail, text, or ringless voicemail, or cold calling, and have those converge. Boom. All right, so we're gonna use that marketing channel that we've already developed here. The other thing that I love about this is because we have the skill to acquire off-market properties, we can set our sights on properties that are fit for development. And you could bring that to a developer and say, hey, I'm going to give you the raw material. I'm going to give you the land. Maybe you entitle it. Maybe you get it ready for them. And you say, I just want a slice of equity in this. Boom. We're not only using the skills that we have on the marketing side, we're also using the acquisition skills that we have with land to win us equity in long-term projects. Love that idea. So you can see how this kind of starts to become a flywheel that all feeds into it. Now, the other reason that we love this active bucket here is cash flow that never ends, right? In the land business, we do create recurring revenue. We do create monthly cash flow from our owner finance notes. But the problem is there is a real time cap to that. It's not going to last forever. Even when we factor in all the defaults, which they are common, at some point it's still going to run out. This is indefinite cash flow. Love that. The next thing is what you'll learn building a big old land business, right? If you're in this category, or heck, you're even beyond this category, your worst enemy is going to be Uncle Sam. In fact, that's actually why I moved to the state of Nevada out of California, because I was just getting reamed running this business in that state. The problem with the land business is there's no tax incentives that you're going to find with rentals. What I've learned is that the government will give you tax breaks if you can create jobs or you can create housing. Those are two things they don't want to do. We do get some tax breaks on the job side of things, but we get none on the real estate side of the land business. So you're going to get taxed hard. And what we can create here is depreciation. Now, I believe the IRS looks at everything on a 27-year schedule. For standard real estate, I think commercial might be a 35-year schedule. And so you're going to depreciate whatever that is annually. Let's say you've got a $270,000 house. That's 10 grand a year that you're going to depreciate against your taxes. Because in the IRS's eyes, that house is depreciating and crumbling and won't be here in 27 years, which we know not to be the case. The other thing is you can do bonus depreciation through cost segregation. We actually have a LEA member that told me that he hasn't paid taxes in 2 years because of one of the deals that he's done. This deal came with a 7-figure price break on taxes. Amazing. So not only in that deal is he using the same marketing channels that he uses for land, he also gets a $1 million tax break and he gets multiple 4 figures a month in recurring revenue for life from that one rental. That's fucking awesome. And the other thing that I love about this bucket here is that when we get these properties and we get debt on top of them and eventually we refinance out, that money that we get from that refinance, tax-free, right? The government doesn't tax debt. That's tax-free. That's amazing. It's amazing. If you guys haven't heard of it, look up the Burr model. It's been said a million times, but it essentially follows this idea of refinancing and snowballing back in. You can also do the buy, borrow, die strategy, where essentially you just keep on rolling up into bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger properties and 1031 and 1031 and 1031. So you actually never have to take that tax bill and you can just keep on rolling into bigger assets. So you can start with $1 million portfolio here and just keep on snowballing that 1031 up into bigger, 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 and bigger assets until 50 years from now, you own a $30 or $40 million apartment building or something bananas like that. Now you might be saying, okay, some of this looks great, but what about my lifestyle? What about me living? What about this and that? What I found is that you can live a really good life, like really good life, with $150,000 or $250,000 a year spent on yourself. Now, I am obviously not flying private or doing crazy things, but what I found is that you can pretty much do anything you want with that kind of money. You can eat where you want, when you want. You can travel when you want. You can go where you want. You can stay in nice hotels. You can stay in nice Airbnbs. Like you can drive a nice car. You can live in a nice home. That's it, right? So if you are making $1 million or $2 million, $3 million a year in your business, I think you're out of your mind if you're spending that personally. My belief is let's live on a fraction of that and let's build this flywheel here that builds an 8-figure net worth. And look, guys, I don't think this is about impacting you. I think this is about impacting future generations that are to come. You know, I grew up in a family where money was tight and I want to break that cycle. I don't want my children to have to feel that. And so this is the little roadmap that I've created, and it all starts with building a land business and building it the right way. So again, guys, you might fast forward 10 years from now, and maybe I'm totally wrong on this. Again, this is my opinion. I've yet to live all of this out, but I'm well on my way and I'm trying to practice every day. So hopefully you guys like this video. If you want to learn more about how we're building land businesses just like this, go to landinvestor.co/apply down below.